Hey guys, so I just finished Arcane Season 2 last night, and I was talking to my wife about it and talking to a friend of mine about it. It was good. I really liked it, and I'm gonna cover spoilers here, so if you haven't seen it yet, just swipe on by. Oh man, it was a lot. Let me cover the things that I liked about it first. The thing that I really loved about it was the concentration on the relationships and the connection being like the thing that solves the problem. So, from Jace and Victor at the very end, like that bond being what fixed the big, huge problem. Vi and Jinx, that one is a little bit different, but it's kind of like accepting who each other are. Caitlyn and Vi is just freaking cool. I don't. It's one of those things that's fun. I'm like, Vi is just the coolest. But, anyways, I like Jace. I like all the characters. They're so cool. Mel and her mom, Caitlyn and Ambessa. There's just so many good. Echo and Jinx. I didn't see that one coming, although I probably should have. But I'm like, it was interesting to see like how they connected the kind of episode that in some ways felt like a filler episode and brought it to matter in the real world. I think that turned out really cool. So that was a huge thing for me. I don't think they did much with Heimerdinger. I was hoping they would do a little bit more with that, but it was really cool. As usual, the animation was top notch. The dialogue, for the most part, rock solid. Like, it is such a well done piece of art. And yeah, I mean, that it's a treat to watch, right? Even though there's little things about it that I'm like, I wish that would have been different. I wish they wouldn't have done that. Like, at the end of the day, it is just cool, and we're all lucky we got to watch it. That being said, there's a couple things that I'm like, okay, maybe that could have been different. Maybe that didn't work quite as well, or maybe I'm just confused. So first off, I don't know what happened with Jason Victor at the end. I know that something in his hand and they're spinning around, and then Jason's just gone and Victor's also just gone. I'm assuming they'll return in some way. I don't know. But the twist with Victor was really cool. The ending dialogue with Caitlyn and Vi, where she's like, "Are you still in this fight?" I'm like, "What fight?" I thought we kind of like wrapped that fight up. I don't know what other fight is there. Everyone seems to be getting along. Anyways, that was a little bit confusing for me. But the thing that I feel like a couple things didn't work very well. First of all, I get why they brought Vander back, but I feel like his piece of the story was already done, and I don't think it really added anything by bringing him back. They could have achieved the same thing with a different in a different way. I feel like it kind of like cheapened his death from the first season. That's just my personal opinion. I felt like Jinx's story with the little girl, I don't know if she had a name, or I don't remember her name. I thought that was really cool that like grounded her, and she stops hearing voices and being a little bit crazy, right? So that was cool, but I actually thought they were going to use the death of her and Vander as what like sparks her back into like Jinx. Like, Jinx is just this crazy character, right? But instead she just gets like normal and depressed. And I was like, okay, that was a weird. I'm like, she was like schizophrenic and now she's just fine. I don't know. That was a little bit weird. I understand. Like, I do like the arc of her emotional like story. Like, it makes sense to me. Like, oh, she's depressed. She feels like she has nothing. She doesn't want to be alive. And then like the episode of or the scene with her and Echo is like really really good. But as far as like her personality, I'm like, how did she just stop being crazy? I don't know. The twist of Maddie being like a double agent, I don't feel like any of those. So I play TFT, and so I was like, I saw these characters before I saw the show, and I was like, oh, these characters probably are like these new characters that'll be really interesting. They'll have like a cool moment in the show, and like none of them are really that cool. But Maddie being a double agent, like betraying her, she was such a non integral part of the story that it wasn't like, whoa, I can't believe it was Maddie. It was more of like, she could have just not even been in the show and nothing would have changed. Like, it could have just been a random soldier that knocked her out. Like, Maddie being part of it, I don't believe mattered. anyways, that's just kind of how I saw that. And then like Lorius and Steb, like the reason I know all their names is because of the game, but like I feel like they needed moments. Like they needed moments for them to be focused on that much during the show. I feel like they had a lot of screen time without really being like that valuable to the story. But that's just me. Ultimately, I think the greatest weakness of the season was that it tried to do too many things in too short of a time. So things like Mel's story, I don't feel like was fleshed out as much as it should have been, right? So I like the whole Black Rose thing and the witch that killed her mom, and like I was like, oh, I didn't know that she died. I think for someone who hasn't played the games, maybe because when I looked on Reddit, it was like, oh yeah, she used blood magic and she drained her life while before Mel could get to her. I'm like, there was no suspense there for me because I'm like, no one else is like dying instantly from this, so it was a little bit strange that she was just all of a sudden dead. Um, and that was the thing. I feel like Mel and Mbessa's plotline had needed more time and needed a little bit more to really like have it be more impactful. But overall, like I said, great season. I really loved it. I can't wait for another one. I know Arcane is done as a season or as a show, but that the world will continue in other areas of the world, other maybe timelines or whatever it is, and I'm really excited for that. Yeah, I loved it. I would love to know what you guys think about it too. Maybe you guys think I'm wrong. I don't know. Um, anyways, I really love season one. I don't even know if I have a criticism of season one. It's so good. But season two, also amazing. Arcane has such a unique like art style. It was the coolest thing I'd seen since like Spider-Man, the animated one with Miles Morales. If you guys know of any shows that like are just unique and really freaking cool looking and good, please share it.